Hi, Recap Man here. Today, I am going to explain a Japanese time travel film called Samurai Sensei. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. In the 18th century, Teichai Hanpeda served as a samurai in the Tosa domain. He is respected and regarded by many as a great warrior. Yet one day he gets charged with a crime and imprisoned. His offense has not yet been disclosed, but he will soon be put to death. Teichai awakens one morning to discover that he is no longer in prison. He is surprised since he is certain that he went to sleep last night. He looks around and realizes he is in a foreign area with people wearing unusual clothes and huge structures. It turns out that he has accidentally traveled 150 years into the future. He doesn't realize this and believes he has been moved to another city. The people stare at him oddly and think he is cosplaying as a samurai. While exploring the strange land, he is nearly smashed by a passing bus. He has never seen anything move that fast, so it completely surprises him. High school student Tora is somewhere nearby showing his brand new motorcycle to his girlfriend Haruka. Teichai approaches them and requests their assistance in finding his hometown. Tora, in turn, questions him about his cosplay, which offends Teichai. Contrarily, Haruka begins to record him as she is astounded by how much he resembles a real samurai. After the encounter, Teichai enters a supermarket and grabs an apple. He informs the owner that he is short on cash, but promises to make up for it later. Because the owner is so frightened, he allows him to take it. Teichai sits outside and savors the luscious apple, which is unlike any other fruit he has ever tasted. He is approached by a police officer who orders that he report to the police station because he has been charged with shoplifting. As the officer attempts to use force, Teichai effortlessly defends himself. As a result, he is pursued by more police officers. As Haruka notices him fleeing, she captures the incident on camera and posts it to her social media. Meanwhile, Teichai collapses unconscious in front of Siki, a private preschool teacher. As he finally opens his eyes, Siki tells him that he has been unconscious for 2 days. The police came searching for him, but the teacher sent them away since stealing an apple is not a serious offense. Teichai performs a bow to express his gratitude. He also identifies himself as Teichai Hanpeda, a samurai. Siki recalls him from his history classes and thinks it's just a coincidence. For the first time, Teichai uses a razor to shave his beard and finds it strange. Like many small things in the new world, he finds them fascinating, but he never questions if he is in the same timeline. But when asked his birth date, Teichai replies that he was born in the 18th century. Seeing as how this supports his suspicion, Siki informs Teichai of the present date. They are both astonished, but they are unsure about what to do next. The next scene shows Teichai cleaning the house to help Siki. The washing machine's usage astounds him. It comes out that Tora, who resides in the same home, is Siki's grandson. As a result, Teichai and Tora must also live together, something Tora dislikes. As Tora and Haruka cross paths in a diner, they see that Teichai's video has received millions of views. Tora is enraged by the samurai because Haruka likes him, which makes Tora hate him even more. Despite the fact that they are familiar with Teichai from the 18th century, they do not think the person they are with is the actual Teichai. Siki and Teichai, in the meantime, purchased the convenience store manager a present of apologies in recompense for the apple he stole. Following that, they visit a restaurant where Teichai indulges in delicious food that is unlike anything he has ever eaten. When asked what he intends to do with his life, he responds that he will someday discover a way to travel across time. Till then, Siki asks him to teach at his preschool. The next day, he is introduced to the kids, who are overjoyed at the prospect of meeting a real samurai. During the course of the days, they show him how to use a smartphone, take him shopping, teach him how to go indoor fishing, invite him to watch them play basketball, and so on. In the meantime, Teichai teaches to them other life lessons he has learned along the way, like the value of sticking together in times of difficulty. He ultimately gains enough popularity to attract the attention of the moms of the kids. They attempt to impress him by bringing him cupcakes and other treats, but Teichai has a wife from the 1800s and is devoted to her. In a flashback, he and his fellow students Ryoma and Kichai are humiliated by a guy named Toyo. He was a powerful samurai who had nothing but hatred for those who were under him. Since Teichai had defamed their leader, they were furious with him and ordered that he be put to death. Teichai came up with a plan to kill him out of hatred. That was a horrible mistake that changed forever his life. When trying to assault Toyo at night, his people mistakenly killed a senior member of a well-known family. As a result, he was imprisoned and was scheduled to be executed. Back in the present, Teichai finds Tora skipping school after lying to his grandfather. He tells the kid to straighten up, but Tora labels him a burden and tells him to go. He even makes an attempt to attack the samurai, but is immediately stopped. When Take-Chai is lecturing him, he receives a phone call from his master and rushes to meet him. A journalist overhears two girls discussing the popular samurai video somewhere in Tokyo. Looking at it, he immediately recognizes Take-Chai. The man scrambles to pack his suitcase before taking off towards the metropolis where Take-Chai is. After conducting some interviews, he locates his address and goes to Siki's house. As Take-Chai returns from the market, he assumes the journalist is a thief. He is going to strike him when the man asks whether he recalls the promise they made. Another flashback shows Take-Chai and his best friend Ryoma conversing prior to Toyo's assassination. The proposal does not sit well with Ryoma, who is unwilling to participate in it. He then departs the village, saying that he would talk to Take-Chai later. It turns out that 6 years ago, Ryoma also time traveled, but she was unable to return to her home. He therefore adjusted to his new life, and is now a journalist living in Tokyo. He takes Take-Chai to Katsurahama, their former town, which has undergone significant change. They see monuments to themselves and feel glad to have left an impression on people 150 years ago. While wandering by the shore, Ryoma admits how much he wants to return to his former town. After so many years, he has given up hope, but Take-Chai still believes that returning back in time is possible. He sees his disciples approaching him, but it turns out that they are simply in his imagination. Following that, the two head to a restaurant and have a meal together. Ryoma has been able to learn how their lives ended in the 1800s since he has lived in the future for a longer period of time than Take-Chai. He reveals that Ryoma was killed 6 years later in another place, and that Take-Chai did the unthinkable out of remorse over killing an innocent man. They even visit their graves to verify the tales. Take-Chai is still concerned about the future of their town and its residents, but Ryoma assures him that it no longer matters. People now live in peace and harmony 150 years in the future, therefore they shouldn't dwell too much on the past. As Take-Chai inquires about his wife Tomi, he learns that she lived for 8.5 years before passing away naturally. He misses her so badly that he doesn't like to talk about her. He abruptly observes Tora being pulled by a group of men. He is being harassed by the local goons in exchange for money. Tora gets beaten and humiliated when he insists on not having any. At that very moment, Take-Chai and Ryoma show up and request that the gang leader release Tora. The group initially insults Take-Chai for dressing traditionally, but when he persists in standing his ground, they become enraged. While there are 15 of them versus the 2, Take-Chai requests that Ryoma refrain from getting involved. He quickly destroys them using a metal pipe as a weapon. Finally, just the leader is left, and he flees while yelling. The next scene shows Ryoma at the airport on his way back to Tokyo. There, he has established a new life and is happy with it. Ryoma wants Take-Chai to join him, but he prefers staying with Siki and the children. When Take-Chai and his wife were together, they regularly made origami. In her memory, he instructs the children to do the same. After finding out she lived half of her life in his memory, he has been missing her a lot lately. 3 kids want to travel to the hills in order to acquire unique characters for a mobile game. They invite Take-Chai to come along, but he rejects so that he can go to his wife's grave. The children want to go the hills by themselves at night when he is absent. Afterwards, Tora approaches Take-Chai and expresses gratitude for last night's help. He says he'll do whatever it takes to repay the favor. After that, the two travel to Tomi's grave and offer prayers there. Until Tora watched him fight yesterday, he didn't think he was the real Take-Chai. He still has his doubts, but he makes an effort to accept the facts. 3 of Take-Chai's students venture into the woods to search for video game characters somewhere in the hills. They enter a restricted zone, certain that they will be able to return. Meanwhile, Take-Chai and Tora are having ice cream together. Finally, Tora says he wants to be his disciple and inquires as to whether or not the man is a real samurai. Take-Chai accepts him as one and asks him to be ready to exert himself for his country. On his way back home, Take-Chai insists on walking while Tora rides his motorbike. When it grows dark, a throng of people gathers in front of Siki's house to search for the missing kids. The children have been gone for more than 5 hours, and their moms are anxious. They are ready to form a search party when a police officer searching for Take-Chai shows there. It seems that the goons he beat yesterday have complained about him. When the officer comes, Tora explains what happened, but Take-Chai still needs to be taken to the police station. As Tora goes seeking for him, she discovers him returning home. When told about the missing children, Take-Chai recalls that they had planned to visit the hill. Meanwhile, the kids are about to give up until Take-Chai's lessons come to mind. They are aware that if they stick together and make every effort to live, someone will ultimately find them. They then come up with the idea of scattering hints across the forest to let anyone who comes to their aid know where they are. Take-Chai shows there a time later and discovers the hints. After a period of tracking them, he comes across the children and is pleased with their bravery in the situation. They meet up with their moms, who are incredibly appreciative to Taekchai. The policeman then steps forward to take him into custody. As the kids try to stop the policeman, it creates a distraction, which allows Tora to drag Taekchai outdoors. They take off on his motorcycle but are abruptly hit by a vehicle. When Tora gathers himself, he notices that Taekchai has vanished. The samurai never reappears after that day. Eventually, the family accepts that they will never see him again. To honor Taekchai, Tora and Haruka visit one of his memorials. The couple is happy they got to know him even if they are unable to see him anymore. Siki then receives a call from the owner of a reputable bank one day. He reveals that a letter was left for him before he was even born. The owner was surprised when the letter was initially discovered, but he knew he had to deliver it to its intended recipient. Taekchai has praised Siki in the letter and assured them that he is exactly where he should be. He has also sketched a portrait of the little children and stated that Tora is his last student. It seems obvious that he was sent back in time after going missing the day of the accident. Tora wipes a single tear away as she stares at the letter. Afterward, a flashback of what transpired after Taekchai went back in time is shown. He sends a letter to his wife and to Siki, who says it should be opened after 150 years. While he is going to be put to death, his rivals make fun of him, but despite this, he has already found peace since he is confident that things will improve in the long run. He is additionally happy that he got to taste chocolate cake, but the rival thinks he is bluffing nonsense. He is ultimately forced to do the unthinkable, which makes him a coward in the eyes of society. Taekchai, on the other hand, does it happily knowing that it won't be the case.